Donald Trump is spiraling like a runaway golf cart on the Mar-a-Lago lawn. He's lashing out at everyone, reporters, Republicans, even Harvard. Yes, Harvard. We'll get to that carnival of crazy in just a second, but first, let's talk about another one of Trump's grand messes, his big, beautiful budget bill. It's getting torched in the Senate, and when a reporter asked him about it, well, here comes the absolute word salad.
On any other front, I don't know. Do you have any questions?
Do you have a message for the Senate? A lot of Republicans have said there are going to be significant changes to the budget bill.
Well, I want the Senate and the senators to change, to make the changes they want, and we'll go back to the House and we'll see if we can get them. In some cases, those changes maybe are something I'd agree with, to be honest. It happens. But we've had a very good response from the Senate, and I don't know how Democrats can't vote for it. If they don't vote for it, they're talking about a 68% tax increase.
Let's break that down. The plan falling apart. The Republicans rewriting it. Trump pretending it's all fine while casually throwing out a 68% tax increase. Like it's not completely made up. It's like he's trying to fix a sinking ship, wet with golf tees and ego. This budget bill is bleeding out right on the Senate floor. And Trump, he's still out here auditioning for the role of confused CEO of a failing country. And just wait, he's about to be asked because of Harvard soon. And that's when the real meltdown begins. This is far from over.
Remember that if the Democrats don't vote, it's a 68% tax increase, which is ridiculous. And one of the things that's being covered indirectly is the fact that we'll be lowering the cost of drugs from 50 to 85% under Trump. And it's going to have indirectly something to do, not directly, but indirectly something to do with the bill. The one big, beautiful bill, and it is a big, beautiful bill. And so I think the Senate is going to get there. I hope they're going to get there. I think they're going to have changes. Some will be minor and some will be, fairly significant. But we've been working with the House all the way up. They've been working together. And the Speaker has been working with the leader of the Senate. And, they've done a great job. John Thune and Mike Johnson have done a fantastic job. They've been working together all the way up, so.
At this point, it's not even clear if Donald Trump knows what's in his own budget. Seriously, that ramble had more indirectlies than a middle school breakup. This isn't a man focused on governing. It's not about policy, it's about power, about weaponizing government as a personal revenge tour, a tool to punish his enemies and keep himself feeling like a big shot. Trump's not looking to honor a single campaign promise, because deep down, he doesn't care about the actual work. The big, beautiful bill, it's just another shiny object for him to wave around. Meanwhile, even his own party is squirming. Republicans in both chambers are visibly uncomfortable. They're trying to back away like someone just dropped a tuna sandwich in an elevator. And one of the loudest voices calling BS on Trump's budget disaster is none other than Senator Rand Paul. And trust me, he did not hold back. Here's what he had to say.
Biden spending levels. When March, every Republican, virtually every Republican other than me, voted to continue the Biden spending levels, which are going to give us a $2.2 trillion deficit. Now, if you increase the debt ceiling $4 to $5 trillion, that means they're planning on $2 trillion this year and more than $2 trillion next year. That's just not conservative. So I've told them if they strip out the debt ceiling, I'll consider, even with the imperfections, voting for the rest of the bill. But I can't vote to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion. There's got to be someone left in Washington who thinks debt is wrong and deficits are wrong and wants to go in the other direction. The idea that we're going to explode deficits and the projections are now looking at over $3 trillion in deficits over the next 10 years, I think is just, not a serious proposal.
Ah, yes, Rand Paul coming in hot with the budget morality lecture, as if this is suddenly the moment Republicans discovered the concept of a deficit. Let's be clear, this entire idea that the GOP cares about debt is complete fiction. Since Reagan, Republican presidents have consistently jacked up the national debt way more than Democrats. This isn't up for debate, it's basic math, and the so-called economic genius of Trump. Please, what's the actual record? Crashed the economy once, now teeing it up for round 2, but somehow he's still pushing the fantasy that under him the economy was booming and the debt was shrinking. It's a bedtime story for billionaires, and now he's claiming to be a champion of free speech and meritocracy? Let's not kid ourselves. Trump doesn't want fairness, he wants obedience, and when institutions like Harvard push back, he lashes out, which brings us to this next moment, where Trump gets asked about his bizarre crusade against against Harvard, and his flurry of lawsuits that are now collapsing faster than a Trump steak deal. Here's the clip.
On Harvard, do you think you'll come for their endowment in any way or go after financial aid?
Well, look, part of the problem with Harvard is that there are about 31%, almost 31% of foreigners coming to Harvard. We give them billions of dollars, which is ridiculous. We do grants, which we're probably not going to be doing much grants anymore to Harvard. But they're 31%, but they refuse to tell us who the people are. We want to know who the people. Now, a lot of the foreign students we wouldn't have a problem with. I'm not going to have a problem with foreign students, but it shouldn't be 31%. It's too much because we have Americans that want to go there and to other places, and they can't go there because you have 31% foreign. Now, no foreign government contributes money to Harvard. We do. So why are they doing so many? Number one. Number two, we want a list of those foreign students, and we'll find out whether or not they're okay. Many will be okay, I assume. And I assume with Harvard, many will be bad. And then the other thing is they're very anti-Semitic. Everybody knows they're anti-Semitic. And that's got to stop immediately.
Well, folks, Harvard is canceled, at least according to Donald Trump, who just discovered that foreign students exist. And apparently that's a national crisis. He says there are 31% international students, and suddenly he wants a list. What is this? Mean Girls meets immigration policy. Also, let's take a moment for the math. 31% is too much, okay? But 100% Mar-a-Lago guests being under federal indictment, that's fine. Honestly, this isn't about foreign students. It's not even about Harvard. It's about Trump not getting invited to the smart people party. He's been raging against DEI and meritocracy for years, all while hiring people whose biggest qualification is knows how to work a teleprompter and yell on Newsmax. And MAGA's version of fairness, it's basically, let me win, or I'm flipping the table. Some people are saying this might just be because Barron didn't get into Harvard, or maybe he did, and Harvard didn't want him, or maybe it's jealousy that Michelle and Barack's daughters are actual Ivy Leaguers, and Trump's kids are out here selling gold sneakers and retweeting conspiracies. But the good news, Harvard's not playing along, they're pushing back. And finally, big institutions are realizing Trump doesn't have the power he pretends to, because these attacks aren't just nonsense. They trickle down and mess with real science, real funding, and actual progress. And no one breaks down why that matters better than Jamie Raskin. Watch this.
Well, it's profound in terms of damage to scientific progress, to academic inquiry, to academic freedom, and then ultimately to the tradition of universities and colleges being able to govern themselves. I don't think Harvard can lose this case. It's so clear that Trump is motivated by animosity and hatred towards Harvard, which is strange because there are a lot of people in his family who went there, including Jared Kushner, who I think was admitted to Harvard after making a $500,000 gift.
Jamie Raskin just nailed it. This isn't about policy, it's about pettiness, plain and simple. Trump's turning the Department of Education into a personal burn book, and the irony? He's bashing Harvard while his own son-in-law waltzed in with a $500,000 donation. Real meritocracy vibes, huh? But Raskin's not done yet. He follows this up with some very clear words, and trust me, they hit where it hurts.
But in any event, there are people in his family who are graduates of Harvard, like he's a graduate of Penn. There's something very whimsical and something very personally pointed about this attack on a private institution. And so if you can do it to Harvard, you can do it to any college or university. And look, what we learned from the law firms is the law firms who gave in are still struggling to keep up with Trump's demands. I mean, he's viewing them as a private law firm workforce that's given him something like around $1 billion of free pro bono help. It's the law firms who've stood up to him who have been winning in court every time against his executive orders purporting to take over their operation. And, you know, he had said that there were law firms whose lawyers wouldn't be allowed to go into federal buildings, including federal courthouses, because Trump didn't like one lawyer who used to work there. And, you know, so like that's the kind of petty, vindictive actions he's involved in right now. And we've got to defend the rule of law, because otherwise we're really moving into a different kind of society. I mean, that's what authoritarianism is all about. The guy at the top gets to run everybody and everything.
So let's recap this delightful little meltdown. Trump is mad at Harvard, even though his own relatives went there. It's giving Ivy League jealousy complex. It's giving my son didn't get in, so now I'm nuking the admissions office. And according to Raskin, this isn't just petty, it's institutional sabotage. Trump's treating elite law firms like his own pro bono pit crew, demanding free labor like he's the king of courtroom coupons. One man, one ego, one endless spectacle of grudges, lawsuits, and executive orders that read like bad Yelp reviews. If Trump can bully Harvard, what's next? Community colleges? Kindergarten graduation ceremonies? This is textbook Trump. Take it personal, make it public, drag everyone down with you. But hold on, because in the next part, Raskin drops something even more jaw-dropping.
And is that ultimately, in your view, the goal of the White House? I mean, or is there another, mission here as to why this White House is targeting Harvard, other Ivy Leagues, and potentially other institutions across this country?
Well, he went after what was reputed to be the most prestigious law firm in the country, Paul Weiss, in New York, and they caved in. And so he's going after Harvard to see if they'll cave in. And he believes if he can get these, luminary institutions in their various social domains to capitulate and to appease him, then everybody else will fall in line. So the ones who have hung tough are showing the way, like Wilmer Hale of the law firms, and Perkins Coie, and there's other law firms around the country who are saying, no way, you're not going to control us and tell us what to do. And by standing up, Harvard is showing colleges and universities around the country that they really mean it when they talk about academic freedom, and they've emboldened and encouraged other institutions to do the same thing. But, it's throughout society. They're doing the same thing to labor unions. Trump signed an executive order purporting to strip more than 1 million federal workers of union protection and the right to engage in collective bargaining, even modified collective bargaining, not for wages, but just for some of the, the terms of employment. And those unions with the AFL-CIO and AFGE have gone to court and said, no way, we're not going to let the president of the United States destroy workers' organizing rights and take over our union. So it's happening across society.
So let's get this straight. Trump is basically treating Harvard like it's a misbehaving contestant on The Apprentice. You're too diverse, too smart, too independent. You're fired. Jamie Raskin breaks it down perfectly. Trump goes after these top-tier institutions like he's on some kind of Ivy League revenge tour, and if they capitulate, yes, that's our SAT word of the day, then he thinks the rest of the country will just roll over like it's pledge week at Trump University. And it's not just Harvard. He's beefing with law firms, labor unions. Next thing you know, he'll try to ban Scrabble for having too many vowels. Apparently, he even signed an executive order to strip over 1 million federal workers of their union rights. Because nothing says working class hero like personally trying to kill collective bargaining while golfing at your private club. This isn't policy, it's petty vengeance with paperwork. It's government by mood swing, and it doesn't stop there. Oh no, because while Trump's screaming America first, guess who was the top investor at his crypto fundraiser? A Chinese national. That's right. The MAGA version of America First means you stay home and pay full price, while Trump sells out VIP access to anyone with a checkbook and a passport. So what is this really about? It's not about protecting American jobs or freedom or values. It's about making sure you get the rules while he gets the loopholes. And the next part of this, oh, it gets even better, even weirder, even more Trumpian. The next video, you won't believe it. Seriously, click it. It's like political satire, but real.